It's not just by Jesus declaring something should happen that it happens. It is also with the cooperation of faith, the faith in Jesus, that makes those things happen. But Jesus here in today's gospel is presented to us as a person who is not in control, who is not all-powerful, who is not able to do something, who is dependent on others, who sees a limit to what he is able to accomplish. And in that, you and I see someone who is just like you and me. And we have two choices: to be offended by that or to find great hope in that. And for me, I take great hope in that. Because our mighty God, who created the heavens and the earth, is not just a bystander, not just someone who is disinterested and is trying to make us jump through hoops, but he knows in Jesus what it is like to be you and me. Because when you and I face our lives, we know that we haven't been able to accomplish all that we wanted to accomplish. And we know that there are limits to our power. And we know that sometimes people turn against us. And we know that things in this life are not fair. And we know that sometimes people don't believe what we're saying. And we know that sometimes life is difficult. We see in today's gospel Jesus, not who is able to touch and to rise from death to life, or to heal and make whole, and to multiply loaves and fishes, but someone who is just like you and me and knows what it's like. He is God with us. He is God just like us. And I'd rather myself turn to a God who knows what it's like to be you and me than to a God who doesn't know. A God who knows disappointments and frustration. A God who knows sadness. And a God who knows rejection and loneliness and people turning against him. It's there. And knowing what it's like to be you and me, it's in that weakness that I see, and hopefully all of us see, the strength of our God. That the mighty God has become small like you and me. That the God who means everything has become insignificant and powerless. That's the Jesus that we meet today. And he invites us to lay our burdens, our disappointments, our frustrations on him because he knows what it's like. You and I come to this table today not to eat a perfect piece of French bread, but bread that is simple and broken. The body and blood of Christ. Not wine that is expensive, but wine that is relatively cheap. The blood of Christ. That's who we come to meet today. The one who is like us, who can lead us out of this mess into a life forever with him and his Father. So we ask our God today that we might approach our Jesus as one who knows us the way we are. Not the way we think we should be or the way we try to convince other people that we are, but the way we really are, like him in today's gospel. A brief word about missions. I'm a Capuchin Franciscan, and I had the opportunity last summer of going to Papua New Guinea, which is a rather large island north of Australia. And it is only recently, in the past 50 or 60 years, has begun to develop. Until about 60 years ago, the people among whom our friars work had not even seen a wheel. One of the friars there while I was in Papua New Guinea took me to the Mendi Hospital. And I must tell you that when I left that hospital, I was quite shaken, because what I saw there was nothing more than, I'm a farm boy, and it was nothing better than our chicken coop on the farm. And when I went to visit the schools that were in the Southern Highlands, I saw tin buildings, rusted, much like the abandoned plants and warehouses down near to where I live in Lawrenceville. No books, no paper. But I need to tell you, church, it's good every once in a while for us, people who are asking for money for missions, to give you a report about what is happening there. I need to tell you this, that all that generosity and that sacrifice that you've made in the past on Mission Appeal Sundays, if it wasn't for that, there would be no hospitals and there would be no schools. Because the only thing that is making the Southern Highlands of Papua New Guinea tick is the church. The government is in shambles. There is enormous poverty. There's AIDS everywhere, which reminds me of the story about a year before I was there. President Clinton, former President Clinton, was there, and one of the Western reporters after his visit said, isn't it terrible that the Catholic Church doesn't give out condoms to prevent AIDS? And no matter what you think about Bill Clinton, what he said to the reporter was, if it wasn't for the Catholic Church here in Papua New Guinea and in every poor country that I've ever visited with my AIDS project, nothing would be done for people with AIDS. And it's true. That's what your sacrifices and your prayers have done. Because of the faith that you have, that God is able to do mighty deeds are being done. People are getting health care. When our friars first arrived, the average age was about 43. Now it is around 56. Kind of bad, but it's much better than it was. And kids are going to school. They're learning. And if it's all about health and education and social things, I need to tell you, 2 weeks ago, a Pittsburgh native, Don Lippert, a Capuchin friar, a missionary, said 2 Sundays ago, he baptized 250 people on one Sunday. Great things are happening thanks to you. And all I ask you today is to pray, and if you can, be generous again.